The lady goat.
Hey, she should have won that last fight. What? No, okay. It should have been the score that it was.
The score is all messed up. I heard it was a good fight. I mean, I
It-
didn't get to watch that one, but
But a fucking draw
yeah, that's
in a
tough for a
championship
championship.
fight.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of that?
not that I can
What
remember.
is this? The Ultimate Fighter season 1?
Yeah, come on.
fuck you
They know.
talking
They should know what they're doing by now.
Uh, those fucking refs are not refs, but judges, man. You never know.
Yeah, that's been an issue for a long time.
It has, and I think, you know, I just think you gotta knock people out, man.
Yeah, I mean, you got to work for that bonus. You got to
You
put on
gotta
a show.
knock
Because at the end of the day, it's an entertainment business, right?
Fuck the end of the day, all day, every day. It's entertainment. Like, you get punched in the face for money. The gladiators got less, right? Like, it was you win and you're immortalized forever, or you die.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you get
There's a lot
paid
more
money.
glory on the line and the pride
You
and
get
the
paid money to do what you love, and you can't complain if you left it in somebody else's hands.
yeah, to a point. But then again, if I mean, you can't really say the same thing for any other sport. Like there should be the judges and the referees for a reason, right? Like they should be doing
Yeah.
their job.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, let's say there's no foul pole in baseball. Like, you need those foul poles because what if it's an inch to the left or an inch to the right? It's the difference between a home run or a long strike.
Right, but and nowadays the rules are subject to change, right? And that's the thing that gets me. And it'd be different if the commissioners weren't involved, right? Like these refs are not sanctioned by the UFC; they're sanctioned by the state,
Yeah, and everyone's going to be different.
right? And so when you have how do you know that one of the guys doing the score or females doing the scorecards is an MMA fan? How do you know? Right, and that's my question: is you can control a lot, but you can't control who is going to be deciding your fate.
Right.
And so how do you change that?
And then if you did, you would even be able to kind of play into the type of judges. Let's say you have a judge with a boxing background.
Right.
So if your boxing is better, maybe he won't count a takedown as much. But
Correct.
So like it's crazy. It is very subjective.
And whatever happened to you having another round? How come that's not a discussion?
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, if it's a 5-round fight, there should never be a draw, right? Which means another round. Well, so that should be the discussion. Like, what do we do if this happens again?
Yeah, fight about it.
Right.
Figure it out.
Right. So I think that's what I'm looking at is like, bro, that should probably be a discussion at this point. Right.
Because that's what they do in the Contender Series, right?
Right. So, and I've been watching UFC since I was a kid, since I lived on Guam, bro, and we'd watch them on VHS. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen some things, and this sport has evolved into what it is now. But it seems like some of the people that are officiating the sport haven't evolved as much as the sport.
And it's been a long time, it feels like.
It's look, the UFC absorbed wrestling now, okay? Like fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
WWE, bro. Okay, like they're doing something right. How are these things still happening?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yep.
Vince McMahon would never have let this stand.
Ultimate Warrior would have just tore some shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So with that, I'm here today with the very funny Anthony Singleton. He's a local comedian, very funny. He's hosting a whole bunch of shows around town. And one of the bigger shows that we're going to spotlight today is at the Goodie Bar,
Yeah.
Saturday, October 28th.
Yep. We call it Fright Night too. Right. We did Fright Night 1 before, and we did it in the Skippers. Do you know where Skippers is?
I remember hearing about it a while ago.
Bro, they're making fish in the background, okay?
Oh, wait, that Skippers.
Yeah,
That Skippers.
yeah.
I thought, oh, man, I was thinking of a bar out here in the valley.
No, man, that's where I started comedy.
Okay.
Because my boy owned Skippers until it shut down.
Nice.
Right, so we were telling jokes in front of a fish tank, bro.
Wow.
So,
Talk about grinding.
bro, it was a shit show, homie. It was a shit show. And think of a packed crowd of LGBTQ, people of color, just everybody kicking it, and your best friend who owns it is calling you the N-word across the building, right? Or a comedian making gay jokes to the point to where people are crying And I'm
Crying,
getting
laughing, or just
no,
crying?
man. I got emails for 3
Oh
weeks.
no.
3 weeks, player. So yeah, we've come a long way from there.
Oof. Yeah, that's a big difference between crying, laughing, and crying, crying.
Listen, I try not to make anybody cry at my shows,
Uh-huh.
if I can help it. But you got to start somewhere,
So where did you start? Even before that, how'd you even get into comedy?
Well, it's funny because I was in hip hop 1st. And so if anybody, I do open mics with rappers too, and I always talk shit. I always talk shit.
Kind of
Always.
like a rap battle type.
No, I'm
talking
just always
shit, or what
talking
do you
shit in
mean?
general because I think that we're long past a point in hip hop music in this city where somebody's ready to blow, bro. Like this other shit that people are doing, forget about it. Somebody's ready. Somebody here is ready. The city's primed for it. And if you're not good, I think we need to tell people we're getting there.
Yeah.
Right. So I started out in hip hop a long time ago. I did shows in the Knitting Factory and everything. One of my homeboys, Bobby Divine, they call him Triggs One, arguably one of the best rappers in this city. He's white, one of the best rappers, period. But he has some demons, man. And, just we fell apart like most rap groups do because you have different directions and drugs and all the other shit we were into. I'm 13 years sober now, so, I was still drinking then, and I'm not going to lie. I popped off and said some shit about his girl at my wedding. You know what I'm saying? That I shouldn't have said. I own that. And her and I have made amends since then. But he's still out there, man, in the streets. So really, I just stopped making music because family was first. And I just, as much as I love hip hop because I do, the passion just wasn't there. Because I didn't see my way out of my situation with it.
Right.
It wasn't about fun to me. It was how do we make this a business? And so I don't think I ever took it seriously enough. And shit changes. And then, my ex-wife, people always said, Anthony, you're fucking funny. You should go say some funny shit. Like, bitch, I'm not a dog. I can't do it on command. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit takes time. So I don't know what did it, man. I think I was laying in bed with my girl. And I think I rolled over and I was like, I'm thinking about going to the comedy club, man, tell a joke, but fuck, I don't want to suck. And she's like, okay, what do you have to lose? Right? What do you have to lose? Like, if you go up there and you suck, so what? Well, she's right. I don't have that kind of personality, though. You're soon to find that shit out, right? And she said, and if you go up there and you do good, and everybody, if somebody says, hey, I'll take you under my wing or some shit, then just keep doing it. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. Like, I went up there. I don't know. Have you ever done any comedy or anything?
Actually, I have, yeah.
Where'd you do it at?
The first one I did, I got up on Kill Tony when they came to Spokane.
Oh, fuck that.
And then I did maybe 7, 8, or 9 open mics at the comedy club.
How'd it feel?
Crushing felt great, man. This was after I fought. I had 30 fights,
Yeah.
and so I got used to that adrenaline dump of winning and the feeling of everybody clapping for you and cheering for you, and the glory basking in something you've created.
Right.
And so I kind of was chasing that, and the comedy filled that void of people there for you. You're the only person on the stage. It's either you win or you fail.
Hey, guys, he's a wrestler. He has wrestled in high school. You can tell that shit just by the way he's talking.
Yeah, and so that filled the void. That gave me that same rush of like making people laugh, and that's like knocking somebody out, and it was amazing. But at the same time, saying a joke and it's just crickets. That's like, ooh, I just got starched up here.
Bro, you get punched for a living. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a joke.
But it's still the feeling. It's performing. It's seeing if you're good enough. It's seeing if your punch is gonna land and knock him out and make everybody laugh, or not. It was very black and white to me, just like winning and losing in a fight.
I'm glad that you've done comedy because it's funny that you can relate to that, right? Most people can't relate to that feeling. And I think that feeling of, especially at the comedy club, right? Walking up there, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
The lights are in your face. You can only see the front row of the crowd.
Yeah, and it's hot. Those lights are hot, man.
Yeah. And you got to keep track of your jokes, the red light, the crowd. You don't know what's working. So when I first went up there, I was terrified.
Yeah.
But
when was that? When was your first time actually doing that?
A year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
A year and a half ago. So, I mean, I had fucked around with comedy a little bit. But it was that same thing that you felt, right? Like, damn, being on that line of failure and success
Yeah.
was so. It was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? And then the rest is history, man. I came down and I was like, shit, I gotta do that again. And so I just spent the whole year, this whole year and a half, working on my craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be the best at this shit. Period. And the reason why I wanted to be on a hip hop show that predominantly deals with hip hop is because I think that hip hop, athletics, comedy all have parallels, right? Like all the athletes want to be rappers and shit. Remember Allen Iverson?
Yeah.
That brother wanted to be a rapper and shit. Play the game. Stop eating tacos. Practice, nigga. What is wrong with you, right? And comedians hang out with rappers, so there's this parallel. And I really took the Nipsey Hussle approach to this shit because I really took what he said as if anybody's listening to Nipsey and they haven't applied the blueprint that he's giving, you're fucking up, bro. You're fucking up. I remember I got injured on my job when I was in 2012, bro. I couldn't walk for a year. I had to have back surgery, right? They went through the front to have titanium pins put in, right? Ooh. 2 weeks after I was in a classroom, I went to college on a walker, okay? And his music got me through that. You know what I'm saying? His music got me through all that shit I was going through, that transitional piece. And he says it, right? He tells you, basically if you're going to do something, if you do something and expect nothing in return in 3 to 5 years, you can be great at it.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. I found that that's a common through line with a bunch of people that I've talked to, with whether it's an entrepreneur starting a small business, whether it's a real estate agent, a kid out of college trying to be a professional basketball player, a comedian, you name it. If me trying to be a podcaster,
right?
It's 2 years in the dark, and hopefully something after that will happen. But it's a bare minimum of 2 years before you can see anything out of it.
Well, yeah, and I think I take my culture to this too. Like, it's really important for me to say this on this podcast, and I want white and black rappers in our city on the internet to hear this with clarity. Okay, hip hop is a culture. Mm-hmm. The music is just an aspect of that culture. When I went to Arizona State, we talked about hip hop, and there's a class taught about hip hop at Harvard, and KRS-One was in that, like talking about hip hop, and it was Obama's instructor actually at Harvard Law, and they were talking about the elements of hip hop, and music is just one element. Street entrepreneurship is another, right? So our culture as a people, this is what people are seeing. When I'm hard on a hip hop artist, it's because I want them to remember. Too Short selling tapes out of his trunk in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I want you to remember Eazy-E, Bone. I want you to see these guys. Master P, right? Dude's one of the richest people in hip hop still. There would be no Snoop Dogg after Death Row if it wasn't for Master P. And it's because these men taught entrepreneurship, right? So when I look at hip hop music, when I look at comedy, I'm like, well, how do you do it on your own terms? Because I think no offense, but I think a lot of the white kids, they run around and they're like, we're going to get a deal. Well, you're asking for the wrong shit. Mm-hmm. You should be asking how you could do this, how you can make this a business and do it on your terms. Mm-hmm. Right? And I mean, if anything, some people might say, hey, Anthony, he's kind of racist. Well, here's the thing. We had 4 million people let go from slavery. What did they all do? There was no house ownership. They couldn't read and write. Mm-hmm. They had nowhere to go. What happened is 4 million people are pitching tents. 4 million people are going to elementary school with their kids to learn how to read. Damn. Right? So in spite of nothing, we succeed is hip hop culture. Mm-hmm. Right? And I think that's what I want to bring to this city as far as comedy is concerned.
How do you implement that kind of mindset into comedy right now?
To be honest, I think it's, one, willing to accept all the failure along with the wins. Mm-hmm. Right? You have to get out there and network with people. You have to get out there and say, hey, what do I want? You have to read. You have to educate yourself on the business. Get around the right people. And the most important thing, don't be afraid to develop yourself and others. right? I think in hip hop, in particular, it's a competitive sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
But too often, people are competing with the wrong individuals. You should be competing with this
Mm-hmm.
first. First, you don't let some bullshit fly out of the studio, right?
Yeah.
Right? You're like, it's
Yeah.
half done, but listen to it.
Gotta have some quality control.
Right? And I think that comedy's that way. And that development piece, man, is so... Loving your brother, like being your brother's keeper, is so important. So important. You as a fighter, right? Like every fight I've ever seen, yeah, there's one person that walks in the ring. But how many people are outside?
Mm-hmm.
That's still... Something happened team-wise that got those athletes to where they need to be.
Definitely.
And I think in hip hop and comedy, those things need to be there because, these young kids now, man, they don't listen to shit. And because they're so wild, that cuts off this informational highway, right? Because they're not listening to elders. And I get it. I used to be in the streets, bro. I've been stabbed and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. And I was wild as hell. But are you smart enough to know when you need to shut your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that is also a taught and learned behavior.
Yeah, definitely. So with some of the things you were just saying, it made me think of the internet and how fast-paced social media is moving and the influences you can get from online. What are some of the benefits and the negatives from social media like Instagram and TikTok that have influenced hip-hop and comedy?
Hey, the positive is holy shit. You can go viral anytime. At any time. The positive is that you can get your message out there, right? And there's so many people that can relate to you. I think one of the things I really look up to with hip hop now, and I don't think I give enough credit, is some of the issues that people are feeling. Man, if you black, motherfucking like mental health issues in the black community, are you fucking kidding me? We don't talk about that shit at all.
Especially as a man too.
No, hell no, bro. Like if you have mental health issues, they'll be like, "You gonna be all right. Just pray to Jesus."
Yeah.
That's what you get. So that avenue, being able to express yourself and people relating to that mental health and all that stuff is great. The negative, the internet is a fucking garbage disposal, man. It will eat your content up so quick. I tell people all the time, man, if you don't have enough content to satisfy the masses, you shouldn't put shit out. If you're waiting 6 months in between singles, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the internet's like it's like Cookie Monster. You know what I'm saying?
It'll hit refresh so
it
fast. It
doesn't care, and it can turn on you if you say the wrong shit. So you got to be careful. And I think as a comedian, you really got to be careful. Like nowadays, you got context is everything. Shit, you see what they try to do to Chappelle. You know what I mean? And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
And so I look at the internet for comedy as one, it's a great marketing tool, but it's not the end all be all. There's a reason why I'm here right now, right? I'm on a motherfucking campaign tour to promote the show. That's what you're supposed to do. They've laid a blueprint. You became a podcaster because you saw it and you're like, damn, I could do this. This would be awesome. Why aren't we doing the same thing when we see rappers and comedians? Like, absolutely, I want to be on a podcast. I don't give a shit what time it is.
Yeah.
Because we're promoting. We're in that mode, right? And so I think the internet is very, very useful, but I also think it can be dangerous physically and in your career. Because that rap shit, you said the wrong shit, motherfuckers be in your face.
Yeah.
Especially out here. White kids are crazy. You know what I'm talking about. These white kids are crazy out here. They're just shooting shit up. Like they're trying to make a name. He's like, I ran into a young brother one day and like he was cripping. And I'm like, why? Like, we live in Spokane, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't, I get it because I was in that same lane, but I mean, is that what you want? You put bad shit out there, bad shit comes back.
Definitely.
And I'm tired of seeing young men get killed, not even in their prime. You know what I'm saying? And that's figuratively and physically and emotionally. I'm tired of seeing young men suffer for nothing. You ain't even made $1 yet, and what you could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of hearing that shit. One time I used to live in New Mexico, right? I lived in Albuquerque. I was the only brother that lived. I would go to this place called the South Side. It was the war zone in Spanish. I had no fucking idea what I was doing out there, right? But I used to kick it with these cats. They're Navajos, right? And I call them the hoes because I'm an idiot. I got no the only nigga around all these Navajos, right? And we're playing Xbox, and we're playing basketball, and he's like, you know what, Anthony? My coach told me I had a lot of potential, and I could have went to college. I pressed pause and said, excuse the fuck, what the fuck did you just say to me? He said, yeah, my coach said I got a lot of potential. You know that's not a word. You know what I'm saying? Like you mean potential. Here's my point. Everybody's got a lot of potential. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't have the right place to focus it, it gives a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Then you're just stuck playing video games forever.
Just playing video games, you still think you're a rapper. Motherfuckers out here still be 40 years old talking about I'm rapping. You should have transitioned already. Right? Like, make no mistake, I took up comedy at 40, but here's the difference, is I'm a boss. I didn't ask for permission. Right? I didn't ask. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. These are all my homies, all the people that I meet in this comedy shit, we gonna tackle this shit together. If one makes it, we all make it.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I got transgender comedians fucking with me. I got shit. There's a transgender comedian on my show. And I'm so blind, I didn't know the motherfucker was gay for a year. And I've known him
just
for
funny as fuck.
Bro, I've known them forever. Motherfucker came in the dress, I'm like, hey, promise me one thing, dog. What? Don't you turn into one of them white bitches. One of them Karens, motherfucker, you know what I'm saying?
That's drawing the line right there.
I'm the head of the LGBTQ committee for the NAACP. Fuck that.
Hell yeah.
I'm out there fighting Nazis for them.
Hell yeah.
I have different credibility than other people.
Come on.
Because I'm in their fucking community. I'm in their murder mystery show to raise money for Pride. They asked me to be on the board yesterday. So, these are people I love them. But at the same time, I'm going to crack jokes. That's what the fuck we do.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that's huge from the little end. I'm a huge podcast fan and comedy fan and comedian fan. And I believe that you should be able to make fun of everybody. And if you can't hang, then I'm sorry, but like I'm gonna make fun of him too. Just like, do you still feel like we're in a very, very sensitive time as far as like, let's just say, gender, for example, just because that's a pretty hot button topic? Or do you think we're kind of on the downslope of that being almost as normal as being gay or as being black or being white? Like, do you think it's kind of equaled out now in the comedy context where you can make fun of make fun of people?
Fuck no. I just think that I have a way of telling jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think that people are sensitive, rightfully so. Let me be clear real quick. I think everyone has the right to their opinion and how they feel. I think what we lack is respect. Right? If you coming out here dropping N-bombs, F-bombs, and all this other shit, and you coming off mad disrespectful, yeah, there's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Right? But if you sit back and you write and you put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable for you so that you can grow and do this shit right, then fuck, bring it, right? Absolutely. And I have to say this because this is a conversation that we have a lot, but bro, white liberal people are interesting as shit, man. Because, the other day I walked in yesterday, right, to do this murder mystery thing, and they pulled me to the side, and the lady's like, she's in a fucking wheelchair, mind you. So I didn't even know she's in a wheelchair. She's just doing her thing. She just rolls around real quick. I'm like, oh shit, she's on 4 wheels. Okay, so we go to this table, and she's like, so Anthony, I just want you to know. I'm gonna look at the camera. I just want you to know, Anthony. I just want you to know, there may be a problem with you being the victim of the show. Why I chose it? Because you're African American. Motherfucker, I know. I know I'm black. Like shit, who you telling? You gonna give me some money? Do I get like black EBT, nigga? What the fuck do I get? And she's like, I said, let me bet you this. It was a white person that said that. Yeah. It's kind of weird that a white person would be worried about the optics when I chose this spot to support you. So straight black guy is shattering the narrative of the LGBTQ community. And it's in your community. I performed at Pride this year. I went to Wallace and performed at their Pride show. Okay. That's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
nothing.
the blackest motherfucker there.
Yeah.
Okay. And the straightest motherfucker there too. So you know what I'm saying? So like, here's the thing, white people, calm the fuck down. Okay.
100%.
I can defend myself. I don't need you to do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that after George Floyd, I felt like that divided the nation, right? And on one hand, you had people like, fuck it, Capitol riot. I'm like, oh, okay, that's too far. And then some people like, fuck it, we're having fucking Juneteenth today. And you're like, oh, whoa, 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 right? There has to be a middle road. And we need to understand policy. We need to understand context. We need to understand when things change, like in the LGBTQ community. If they had one more letter, and don't call me and let me know before what the fuck that letter is and get mad at me, I'm gonna lose my mind. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell me the letters. You know, when non-binary dropped, I was like, what the fuck? I'm 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was, seriously, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought non-binary meant, you know how in China they wrap kids' feet?
Oh my god.
I thought they just letting feet go. You know what I'm saying? I thought toes was breathing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought was happening.
The dogs are barking.
I'm like,
today.
yes, getting rid of that oppression. Feet across China.
Free the feet.
Yeah, and no, I was wrong. But the reality is you have to let us know. And I think as a black person in America, motherfuckers generally never ask me how I fucking feel. But all of a sudden, we're having these discussions about groups that really, if we're being technical, right? I love the gay community, but I'm saying it's still got white guys in it, right? You still got some conservative white guys in that community, right? And they also have more power than a lot of other groups do. The white men do, so they can push whatever they're trying to push to the front sometimes. That's all I'm saying, right? And so, and what I mean by this, an example is we're still talking about critical race theory in school. But pronouns already there. Right? So I'm like, how did pronouns get to elementary school before black history did, right?
Yeah.
So we need to have those discussions, not what I said on stage discussion.
Sure.
What I'm saying on stage is making you laugh. How I feel in my private time is that I respect all groups equally and that I love them, and I don't give a shit where you're from. If you want some smoke, I'm a joke. You know,
Yeah.
Don't come at me left-sided. My homegirl Jenny, she's transgender. Fucking love her. I started this shit with her. If she comes at me, I'm gonna give it to her. You know, and she knows it. I've looked her in the face. She's talking shit, and I said, "Listen, I refuse to hear from a person's whose dick can stand on their balls." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not arguing with you. Okay. But that's our relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's about cultivating those relationships and understanding what it is you're trying to create. And I think in hip hop circles, that's one of the things that makes hip hop so great. Is there's supposed to be no rules. Mm-hmm. How you feel is how you feel.
Yeah.
Right? Who am I to tell you how you feel? I don't have to listen to your shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's that easy.
Right. And you don't have to listen to my comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fucking funny and you're going to. Mm-hmm. Right? And if it's an art form and these ladies and gentlemen are good at what they're doing, then fucking give them a shot.
Yeah.
So not like a bunch of bitches.
And I feel like so much of that stuff too is like the Floyd Mayweather effect, where people are going to tune in because they love Floyd and want to watch him win, but the other half is going to watch and buy the pay-per-view because they want to see him lose so bad, and then hate on him for winning. It's like, first of all, thank you for the money. I'll take that.
100%.
Second of all, that's all I care about. So hate me all you want. I just still got paid.
Right. I feel like that's the Logan Paul effect, motherfucker. That's what that is.
Yeah,
those two
that's
white
up
boys
next
are fucking
now.
people up. You know what I'm saying?
And making all the money.
A ton of money.
All the money.
And they're making all the money just so you hate them. You don't ever want to see them win. You don't care.
They're fine with that.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm like, these Mickey Mouse Club ass motherfuckers is making millions. And one's a legit fighter.
Yeah.
The older one? Is that who it is?
Yeah, he was a good wrestler in high school.
Yeah, that kid's legit. Mm-hmm. I mean, cool. I've seen you with some boxing gloves on with the other one, but this other kid, he's scary. Mm-hmm. But the thing that's scary about both of them is their work ethic.
Yeah, no matter what, if they wanted to be the best cricket players, they'd be out there. Done. They'd be out there.
Done. Mm-hmm. Their work ethic is phenomenal.
You have to appreciate it.
Oh, dude, phenomenal. If a quarter of these rappers in this city had that work ethic, do you know what this rap scene would be?
Spokane would be on the map.
Right, but they don't. They still smoking weed, drinking, trying to pull chicks, trying to be the hardest motherfuckers out here. If you want to impress me, motherfucker, stay in the studio. Mm-hmm. That's real shit. Like I want to hear the bars. I don't want to hear.
Give it the Russ approach.
Yeah, Russell Wilson?
Steaks. No,
Oh, I'll say
Russ.
I'll punch that nigga in the face. I can't. I'm a
Russ.
Seahawks fan. Don't even bring
Yeah,
that
me too.
motherfucker
I
up.
hate him. But Russ, yeah, I mean he dropped. I think he dropped a single once a week for like over a year.
Yeah.
I think he came out with 12 albums full, and was just in the dark, did his thing, and then boom, 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 and then he just did his first stadium last week with Ed Sheeran, 80,000.
80,000.
Nuts.
That changes his life. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that at the end of the day, isn't that what we're here to do? You got kids?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. So, motherfucker said, not yet.
Yeah, no kids, not yet.
Fuck that.
We got some things on the checklist first.
Get a fucking pug, motherfucker. Like, don't.
Yeah.
But I think in any aspect of business, bro, the work ethic is anything and everything. Mm-hmm. I work all day, work all night. You know, look, I got 150 seats to fill for this comedy show, right?
And where can they get these tickets?
Oh man, Eventbrite, right? And you can hit me up on Anthony Singleton 47 at Instagram, and then just Anthony Singleton on Facebook. It's all over, and we're gonna be plastering. I just got my first sponsor yesterday.
Congrats.
So thank you, Larson Concrete. So they're gonna throw some dough so we can get some promotional stuff going. You know what I mean? So this show to me is the most important thing, and what I really I don't want to leave here without saying this, man. And I really want this to make it. The reason I'm doing all these podcasts, I think I'm doing 4 or 5 podcasts this month, right? The reason why I'm doing this is because, dude, the comedians we have, fuck, dude, they're so good. Some of the best comedians in the Northwest, hands down. You got guys who've performed in China.
Wow.
Okay. Do you know what it takes to, okay, so I've done three shows of my own this summer. This is my third one of my own that I put on. Okay. And each show I've done 20 minutes of new material. Do you know how hard that is?
I mean, I do, because I've tried to do like 2 minutes a couple of times, and just that is unbelievably hard.
So the life of a comic, I'll just tell you like this. My homeboy, I'm gonna shout out to my homeboy Lewis. He's 7.5 months clean. He had somebody with us one day, and I pulled her to the side and I was like, "Yo, you like Lewis?" She's like, "Yeah, why?" I said, "Because I understand this life. There's no civilians in this life." Right? I said, "You like him now, but there's no dates. We don't go on dates in this crew. We don't do that. We go to open mics. If you want to go on a date, then you have to open mic with me.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to go on a date, you're at a show with me. That's the way this works. So if you get 4 minutes every time you go on stage, how do you build 20? That's from repetition. So you have to I host 3 mics a week myself, and the comedy club twice a week there. Tease on Tuesdays, so I do 2 sets on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, sometimes I do 3.
Wow.
Right, from Nevada Street to Post Falls. Right, Friday night I'm going to Sandpoint to do a show. Right, and then I host a mic on Saturday. So it's this material you're working, and you have to find out if it sucks. And so the work that all these men and women put in is insane, and nobody knows about them.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing this, so that people see their hometown comedians, bro. Like, it's insane. One of the guys on the show, Charles Hall Jr., one of the best comedians in the city, hands down.
I've actually seen him before too.
Yeah, that dude's hilarious, hilarious. And as soon as I called him, he's like, "Yep."
Hell yeah.
He didn't even discuss money with me.
Nice.
He was like, "I know you're good for it."
Hungry.
Right. So, I mean, we have transgender comedians, white, black, veterans. Like, it's beautiful to see this family come together, bro. And I mean, we fighting shit.
Just like any family.
Oh yeah, my boy Colton Drake. Colton Drake to me, my friend Colton Drake, man, like real shit. He is like the biggest inspiration I know because of this reason. He's always calling with the new joke. Doesn't matter how terrible or good it is. Like, and when I mean terrible, it's funny, but you just can't say the shit.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's always pushing me and I'm pushing him, and like, your comedians, man, this city's, bro, phenomenal. Laura Branning, she's amazing. Harry's dope. Myself, Ibrahim, he's a newer comedian that popped on the scene. He's from Harlem. You know, so you have all this diversity. This dude named Zach, he just came home from the military. So you have to know that these guys are putting in 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a week in addition to their job to build a set for a show.
Yeah.
And that's what they're out doing right now.
Prepping.
Oh, bro,
Getting ready for war.
it's beautiful. And here's the other thing about being a comedian, man. Like, when we first take an idea, it's not always funny, right? And I'm sure you can relate to that. You're like, this is funny in my head. And you get there, you're like, not funny.
Yeah.
So, like, I went to a slave plantation in Louisiana, right? And it fucked me up. Like, I didn't think it would fuck me up, bro. To where, like, I almost started crying when I left this motherfucker. Because I remember just seeing my ancestors' names and prices on a wall. I'm like, what the fuck? And there was a white lady dressed like Harriet Tubman giving me a tour, you know what I'm saying?
Shit.
So I was fucking hot. And, bro, I flew back home and I tried to tell this joke because at one point in this tour, I go into the gift shop. That's right, gift shop. And there's gardening tools with the name of the plantation on them. So I come back, bro, and I'm like, I get on stage. I'm fucked up inside, right? So I come back, and I had just done a show down there, and all my material worked. But I came back, and I was like, fuck, how can I make this funny? So I tell this story about how, I walk to the gift shop, and I see these gardening tools, and I'm like, what, you think we want a slavery together? I'm going to get some cotton and tell my kids, hey, kids, let's go pick cotton together, right? Like, what the fuck am I going to do? And my buddy's like, you know what you need to do? What? He's like, check it. Say that after you got the gardening tools that you bought a slave. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Brilliant. Right? So I was like, yeah. So I was there, Black Friday, 3/5 a man, so I bought me a slave.
Oh my god.
And then the crowd starts fucking, oh my God. I'm like, what? Trump said Mexicans couldn't come. He didn't say nothing about other niggas, you know what I'm saying?
I got tools for him already.
Right. And then people started getting, like, I started telling the joke some more, and it was getting better, but then he pulls me to the side and he's like, yo, you should say that you brought the slave home underground air.
Nice.
I'm like, brilliant, right? So now it's I got the slave. He wouldn't let me check it. I couldn't just send it regular. So I sent it underground air, made it home before me, right? And so what I'm saying is the value of having your community around you and help prop you up in those weak moments and add to your material and keep it authentic still, right? Is the most important part of having a huge community of comedians. And without fans, without people to watch, how do we know it works?
Right. And so like a joke like that, for example, how long did it take for you to go from not funny to build it, try it to, okay, now it's landing consistently?
I sometimes have bad awareness because I'm an asshole. I just like to make people laugh sometimes. But I actually told the joke at the Pride event in Wallace in front of like 120 fucking people. And one of my homies from the LGBTQ community was like, they pulled me to the side and they were like, yo, I saw you building that joke. Fucking phenomenal. And that's when it kind of hit me that the joke was on point, right? Because somebody saw me build it, right? And it takes a while sometimes. And as you know, it's any given Sunday, bro. Like you could tell the joke. I've told that joke a million times, but there's also times I've told it didn't work. It's just what it is.
Right.
But that's the business, right? And I think if we're all doing that, why should we have to go on the road for people to accept us, right? Like that's the real thing. That obviously we're going to be on the road, obviously, right? We want to go city to city. At least I do. I know that for a fact. And I mean, I make enough money. I'll get a Sprinter fan and fucking do it myself, right? I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do comedy in every city I vacation.
Nice.
So I went to Hawaii. Fuck it. Found some place to do some shows. So I did it, right? So, but we want our city invested. And it's more than the Spokane Comedy Club. I love the Spokane Comedy Club. They have great new owners. Renee is fucking amazing. But we want you to see us in our entirety and who we are and our personalities and what makes us different and what makes us great. I want them to see the whole family, not just me. So this is the beginning of more, right? And that's why this is so important because nobody's ever done this shit. Like real shit. You think to yourself, a fucking multicultural cast of people at a black-owned venue telling jokes. You can't say it's been done. So let's do something that's never been done. And I mean, like, I got so much love for even sitting in this seat right now because a year ago, I was just dreaming.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And there's not a person in my life that doubts where this is headed.
That's huge.
You know what I mean? But that's work.
Mm-hmm.
That's work ethic. Just like this is going to be successful, what you have going on. As soon as I walked in, I knew you'd be successful. Because you can tell somebody that's invested, not just financially, but mentally invested in their craft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you're going to be fine. Right? But it's getting everybody else to see in our city what it has. Much like rappers. You know, that this pay as you go shit, you know, like that's hard.
Yeah.
What are you doing in between being offered pay to play spots? Right? What happens when the crowd's gone at the knit?
Yeah.
Right? What happens when the crowd's gone at the district? Because here's the reality. Everybody you know that's at the knitting factory, do you know what I do when I get to the knitting factory? I walk right in.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know where I sit? Upstairs. Did I pay? No. Why? Because of the connections you make in this shit.
Mm-hmm.
If your music hits, that gives you all the opportunity you need to build that relationship.
Yeah. And the music should speak the loudest.
The only reason I'm in the spot that I'm in is because I'm funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, it's cool to show Shorty, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is VIP and all that. But really, you need to protect those relationships and cultivate them and ask where else this can take you. Right? Because, you know, I love DJ Rec and I love all the people that are out here doing the scene, you know, but some of these guys want to pay when they're not ready. So you out here hustling tickets for what? But like, make it a business, bro. I promise you, you asked me about the internet earlier, right? Here's the thing. I promise you that if you have fucking 500 views, 500,000, a million, you ain't got to worry about shit. Am I wrong?
That's a lot of views.
It is a lot of views. So, but if we can do that collectively, if we can market each other in a way that gets that for all of us, then who the fuck do we need permission from?
Yeah. Because the people are what's going to drive ticket sales. People are going to be streamers. And that's the big numbers are going to speak for themselves. And that's all you're ever looking for really is if they're going to laugh, if they're going to watch, if they're going to pay to play.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm going to say this for all the rappers. I'm going to say what they've been thinking the whole time they've been rapping. If you support me, pay me. Don't fucking tell me you support me and cut of my free shit. The ticket's only $10 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
If you spent that on liquor or alcohol, you spent that on weed, like really.
Yeah.
So if you support us, if you support our community, our scene, whatever scene it is, fucking pay the money.
Mm-hmm. And even above that, I find that it's really hard to even just the support. It doesn't cost $1 to hit share. It doesn't cost $1 to send this to your friend. If you can't go, if you're out of town, send it to somebody who might like it. It costs $0. It takes 2 seconds. You don't even really have to mean it. All you have to do is hit share because it means something to me. That means somebody else is going to see it, and they might buy 10 tickets. They might tell somebody who's going to buy 20 tickets.
Look, a motherfucker that doesn't share your shit or push like is a hater.
It's very disheartening, especially after so long, and then they see you and they're like, "Oh, good. I hear you've been doing this. Hear you've been doing that," or like you see them watch it, and then you don't see the views correlate. You don't see the likes correlate.
It's because they ain't watching it.
No, not a chance.
They're fucking not doing it. And here's the thing. Hate is a mental illness, my friend. Being a hater is a mental illness, yo. Hey, if you're so fucked up in your life that you have to worry about what the fuck I'm doing, you're sick. You're mentally fucking ill, bro. Like, you're supposed to love me. You're supposed to be my day one, and you don't even push like on my shit. Look, I'll tell everybody right now, my daughters have not been to one of my shows. I have a 26-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old or a 22-year-old daughter. My 26-year-old daughter has never even pushed share on my shit. I love her. But from a business standpoint, she's just the same to me, man. Because it's business.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, you don't even support your fucking father. Right? You think I'm a fucking joke in this comedy shit, which I respect. Because all you see is daddy. I get that. But on the other hand, Like, we supposed to stick together. All you have is family,
Right.
right? So make no mistake, as a rapper, as a podcaster, hey, you'll get hate from places you least expect. Look, my mom showed up at a show fucking a month ago. It wasn't even my show. I haven't seen her in 15 years. Motherfucker just showed up.
Wow.
Like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? Like, last time I remember you showing up for me was when I was in high school wrestling, and it was like parent night. That's the only other time. Other than that,
How did it make you feel?
oh shit, I was mad.
You're mad?
And I had a lot of anxiety. Yeah, because
Did you know before you were
no,
performing or
no,
after?
I wasn't even performing. I think she just thought I was. And then, I walked into the Garland Theater because it was the Garland Theater show. My boy Josiah puts on a show the first Thursday of every month at the Garland Theater. And I wanted to support him. I did some, like, I was handing out flyers for him and shit because he's the homie, And we're doing a show this week together. And somebody was like, yo, your mom's here. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, Phil. Comedians are dickheads. I'm like, fuck out of here, bro. That's impossible. She lives in California. And I sat down and I get up and I go back outside. And Josiah's a sweet man, dude. He was just like, yo, I met your mom. She's super sweet. I said, impossible. That bitch is not sweet. You know what I mean? So, like, I walked inside and I seen this weave nigga just moving. I'm like, fuck, that's my mom. So I go over there and I'm like, yo, mom, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh, you're my baby. And this is how I know the motherfucker's still crazy. She stood up, hugged me, and was like, look how tall you've gotten. I'm 5'5". I've been this tall since fourth grade. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, goddamn. And then 2 days later, she had a whole motherfucking TikTok about my black ass called Surviving Elder Abuse by Anthony's white wife and my black son. I'm like, I have not been married for a very long time. But that gives you an idea of what I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? It felt like shit. Under no circumstances do I ever want her to be in a show of mine. But with that said, I had some great material, though.
Yeah.
The very next night, dude, I fucking went crazy. I wrote the shit down. I did it. It works. It finished the set for me. So it was.
Wow. So it paid off.
Oh, it did, man. Because she's fucking crazy, bro. Like, I was going back on all the shit she had done. Like, when I was a kid, she got arrested at Burlington Coat Factory, passing bad checks
Wow.
for my school clothes while I was getting a hand job in the car. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Or my mom told me not to date white women. If you have sex with them, they'll give you cancer. Swear to God. So that's when I was talking about the whole bit, well, fuck, like, do I get leg cancer, knee cancer? What kind of fucking cancer do I get? Like, do I get pee hole cancer? I don't fucking know.
That's a valid question.
Right? And if I wear a condom, do I get leprosy, bitch? Like, what the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? So it was I'll say it like this, man. A long time ago, I would have just left. But I think as a man, I had to stick it out and make content out of it. Be as authentic with it as possible. And so I'm blessed. I'm blessed that I have the gift to be able to turn it around that fast.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't turn that shit around like that.
Yeah, and it's as cliche as it is. Laughter is, you either laugh or you cry.
Bro,
I'd rather laugh about it.
Bro, I wanted to drink so bad.
Yeah.
But that's not this. This is, I'm a boss, so I don't have the right to fuck up everybody else's dreams too. So I dealt with it. Seahawks also got their ass whooped that weekend. I wasn't too happy about that. First game of the fucking season,
Rams.
A fucking Geno Smith. I don't give a fuck about that motherfucker, man. Like, he's average at best. Stop it. Right? But I processed it, and now we got an hour of material for at any given time. So between the slavery shit, the mom shit, like I got autism jokes, I got all kinds of shit, like I'm like, hey, you know what it's like to date? You know what it feels like to date a woman who's autistic? They don't either. They have no fucking idea how they feel nothing. These bitches feel nothing.
That's great.
But that's the thing, bro. Is like you got to keep it real. Are people with autism mad sometimes? Yes. But I'm unafraid, man. This is, this shit's about you as much as it is about me. I really want you guys to see what we are, and the blood, sweat, and tears we put into it, man. Look, shit. Even tomorrow night, I'll be at the comedy club, right, putting in work. And right now, I got a whole bit about the show Intervention. White people in Idaho were not happy with me last week.
It hit too close to
Oh,
home up
shit.
there.
I had to change the whole joke. I was like, I love watching Intervention because when somebody dies, I pee a little. I was like, I just like watching white people suffer. It's my favorite thing. I'm not saying that again. I'm going to say I just like watching people suffer. Somehow that's better. As long as addicts are dying of every race.
Yeah, especially
happy.
in North Idaho.
Yeah, they were pissed, bro. And what did I say that really pissed them off? I was like, oh, I don't blame the cartel for the drug problem in America. I was like, I blame the junkies.
Valid.
It's supply and demand, motherfucker. Like, what? If there were no drug addicts,
Valid.
there'd be no drugs to be sold.
Valid.
And North America consumes 90% of the opiates in the world. So we're sitting here politically being like, oh, the cartel. Well, who are they selling it to? Mm-hmm. Crackheads.
And the man is somehow making money off of it, so they are never going to stop it.
You know who's not making money? Cinnamon at 7-Eleven on Second. That's that bitch. Bro. I saw a midget with so much ass. I could not fucking believe it. I was like, God damn, you got like 4 butts. You know what I'm saying? Like I could not believe it. I'm like, man, if anybody needs to be sober, it's that bitch.
She could turn it around.
Turn it around, man. She'll slide all the way. I mean, halfway up and down that pole like you have never seen in your whole life. It's Cinnamon is still a midget, bro. Is that the correct term? Little people with a lot of butt. That's like, man, get her off drugs ASAP. Then somebody told me they saw her in a midget toss.
No way.
Yeah, I had so many questions.
A midget toss?
That's what I'm saying. The girl, like I was doing comedy at an open mic, Little Nevada's on Thursday at 6:30. And I'm like, well, how do you grow? Do you just grab a midget and like, do you grab by the legs and some of the arm and talk? Like, that's got to be illegal.
It's like the Scottish games where they're tossing the logs and the kegs and stuff. It's just,
all I can imagine is them stepping on her when she's in the water.
Oh,
no. No. And see, I went to Hawaii, right? So you said the crackhead games. I went to Hawaii, and them crackheads are different. You ever been to Hawaii? You ever been to Hawaii before? Bro, I went to Hawaii, right? These crackheads were fucking different, bro. I had some were riding bikes uphill and shit.
Wow.
I seen motherfuckers
They got
swimming.
cardio?
They got abs. Okay, we're not talking about skinny crackhead. We're talking abs, bro.
Tan.
I'm like, man, in Washington, we got Iron Man. Out here, they got Foil Man, bro. Like, that's what they got. They hit that shit. Look, they leave their tent, and I literally seen somebody with a tent that says, do not enter. Bitch, this is a sidewalk. How? What?
And also, I do not want to go in there, I promise.
I promise you that. But still, the fact that you have the audacity to look, this is a public sidewalk. That shit's different in Hawaii, bro.
Wow.
Bro, they got some drug addicts out there for real. Yeah, but, you know, you make jokes where you can. Shit.
Yeah, man. Everybody wants to laugh.
Well, I'm 13 years sober. I can say the shit if I want. Motherfuckers get mad at me because I'm watching Intervention. Look, you should be mad at the motherfucker who's smoking crack in the passenger side of the car with his mom driving, the camera in the back, still surprised it's an Intervention coming.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's been 22 seasons.
I've never thought about that.
22 seasons.
What are we talking about? There's like, why is there a camera in the backseat? I don't know. I've never thought about that.
No.
And then
22 seasons, bro.
Oh my gosh.
And every time they're like, you lied to me, mom. You set me up. Genevieve,
that's hilarious.
you stole $500 from your mom's bank account and been smoking rocks in the bathroom for 6 months. And you're surprised we're having an intervention right now.
That's great.
I seen a motherfucker have an OD in a fucking road, like a scooter, a rascal scooter.
Oh, what?
Yeah, motherfucker could walk. He can walk. He asked his mom, could he borrow it? He didn't want to walk. His bike had a flat tire. Oh. So then he OD'd in the rascal. How's that not funny?
He deserved it at that point.
You're in a parking lot, an abandoned parking lot, shooting up dope, and the cameraman has to call 911.
Damn.
Like, that's hilarious.
Damn.
The worst thing is when people die. It's my favorite on Intervention. I can't lie to you, bro. I cannot lie. Because nothing exciting happens. Either one of two things happens, right? Either one, you're talking about Kyle here, and he's like, Kyle, how you doing in rehab? He's like, fuck rehab. I'm thinking about heroin. And you're like, okay. What are you going to do when you get out of rehab? Fucking heroin. You have any kids? Fuck them. I need heroin. Okay. So that's going to happen. Or they make it to the promised land of sobriety. Mm-hmm. If one person dies every once in a while, spice it up for me is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come on.
Like, just, I saw a girl get hit. Actually, I looked it up afterwards because I'm a real asshole. But she got killed on a turnpike in Florida, bro. Her phone flew out the window. She went to go get the phone and got hit by a car. She was sober. She was sober. She got clean for what? Nothing.
Damn.
She could have done heroin to the end of days when the fucking
And
mattered.
lived longer.
Right. And got hit by a fucking car.
Damn. Unfortunate.
For who? It was hilarious to me. Shit, I didn't give a fuck because I'll tell you why. Because what were you doing throwing your goddamn phone out the window? You were on drugs then. Don't try to lie to me. Motherfucker, I ain't never had a fucking phone fly out the goddamn window.
And then walk on the freeway? Nope.
You're on drugs. Go to Verizon and get yourself another phone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're clean, that's the shit that you would do. So don't fucking try to lie to me, motherfucker.
That's great. And then they try to make it a sob story.
I don't give a fuck. It's been 22 seasons.
Figure it out, guys.
Oh, yeah, and they always have white people on there. They never have us. You know why? Because our parents ain't fixing to let you in our business like that.
Yeah.
You could be having an OD now. Jesus will get him. Jesus.
And you ain't going to let Auntie find
Fuck
out.
no. That's a reflection on your black parents' parenting. That's not
sure.
happening.
And I feel like that should be for any sane person.
No, dude. Only white people do the shit they do to save their kids. I swear to God. Like, I'm not talking about lifting a car because your kid got ran over or jumping in front of a bullet. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you give your kid money to buy heroin and then wonder why they're dying.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, what, you don't know? Pick me, I'll tell you, because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But it also brings light to addiction in this country, right? And that's why I tell the joke as well. Because it is a very real issue. Fentanyl is a very real thing. I'm a social worker.
It's scary. And not only, like, and there's a big difference between, like, an obvious heroin addict down at the 7-Eleven versus college kids at a party that do a couple lines of blow.
Yeah.
And now you can't do that.
No, you
can't do that. There's a good chance where you can have a 4.0 grade average on the football team, star of the whole school. You party one night and you're dead the next day.
Isn't that what white people really give a fuck about anyways? They don't give a fuck about Deshaun selling crack in Philadelphia or dying from an overdose. Fuck no.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is it's from even 10 years ago to now, drugs are completely different because of fentanyl. It makes it terrifying.
But I think drugs are a little more acceptable than they used to be.
I think they could be more acceptable as a culture standpoint, but it's definitely a lot more dangerous than it used to be.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think it's more dangerous or are people dying more and we're paying attention?
Definitely both because of social media and there's more coverage of it, but there definitely is more fentanyl than there was 10 years ago.
100%.
I'd never even heard of that until a few years ago. It's in, fake Adderall pills, Xanax, cocaine.
100%.
And like all of those I've personally seen going through school. And I've known a lot of people that partied and took a Xanny, took an Adderall before a college test, did cocaine. But now he could have got a bad Xanny bar. He could have got a bad Adderall.
Who the fuck is... Listen, I used to take Xanny bars, okay? My mom used to give it to us by the bags, okay? I have friends that are heroin addicts still. And let me tell you something. A whole Xanny bar, motherfucker, that shit will fuck you up.
Yeah.
I got weeks missing.
You're just sleeping standing up.
All the time. I used to drink with them, right? So the real question is, why has that become acceptable? See, because we're focusing on the drug piece, right? We're not focusing on the socially acceptable piece. Because when I was a kid, if you were doing cocaine or some shit like that, you go into the bathroom at a party, right? Now you don't. Why? Why? Since when was Xanax ever safe?
Yeah.
It was never safe.
But it was still 100% going to be Xanax.
Yeah.
Now, there's no... You don't know if you're going to get the one that kills you or the one that you're just going to black out on. I think that's the part that needs highlighted. But I do see where you're coming from, that it's kind of in, I think rap and some avenues of rap have a big part of that, where it's cool. I mean, Little Xan, his name is Little Xan.
Fucking stupid.
Like so many of these artists glorify drugs and glorify getting fucked up and glorify living a terrible life.
Yeah, even though they don't. And here's the thing too, I hate to say this, all rappers are gonna fucking hate me after saying this, but if I hear one more motherfucker say Juice WRLD is a legend, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking punch myself in the face. Okay, listen, the jury's still out. He hasn't had enough records to be called a legend, okay? Right. I'm just gonna say that. Second, he motherfucker took drugs, a bunch of drugs, so he didn't get arrested. Right? A real nigga would have just went to jail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the other thing too is they're not highlighting mental health, right? Every kid runs around and says anxiety, right? Which I have anxiety, and I honor that struggle, and I validate that. But when I hear a motherfucker confuse fear and anxiety, that's when I have a question, right? Like, what are we saying to kids? Because real shit, I was with my daughter's boyfriend one day. We were watching Cops, and these kids were smoking blunts, and the cops came up behind. He's like, "Oh man, that situation would give me anxiety." Fucking bitch, that's not anxiety. That's fear.
Yeah.
That's fear. You're about to get locked up for some dumb shit. That's fear.
True.
Anxiety is some shit that is either caused from PTSD or from a disorder that you may have, right? Not every kid has fucking anxiety. And when you listen to this music, all kinds of music, right? And do not get me wrong, I love, like, there's this dude named Jaden that you know, he's a rock artist or whatever. I love him. But we have to define what they are. Define what anxiety is. Define what your mental health disorder is. Not everybody has ADD. Not everybody has all these issues. Mm-hmm. And when we take when we open the floodgates and tell every kid this is acceptable, there's a problem. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Because they don't have a way to cope as it is. So if they're not laughing, if they're not identifying with the music they're listening to, if they don't have people to talk to, what are they going to do? Man, I just had a longtime acquaintance of mine commit suicide not too long ago, right? He hung himself. Do you know how many people I know that have killed themselves, bro? A ton. And some of those people, bro, their households were fucked up. Mm-hmm. So if I could go back and talk to them, I would. But what I'm saying is that some of these kids, this younger generation needs to understand that yes, fentanyl is an issue. It will fucking kill you. I see it at work all the time, every day. My boss almost got killed because someone was smoking it in the bathroom while she was in there.
Damn.
Right. So I'm in charge of de-escalation at my job and shit. So I got to kick these motherfuckers out. But there's also this conversation of who really has what. Right? If you don't know what a motherfucker has, then it's easy to misdiagnose someone and just throw drugs at them. Mm-hmm. And that's not the way to handle this shit. Pick up a habit, dude, like comedy, pick up music, pick up fighting, pick up wrestling, there's all these other alternatives. Mm-hmm. And we just don't discuss them, man. And so drugs become the fallback. And then we perpetuate this bullshit by the music that we put out there, by the jokes we put out there. You know what I'm saying? Even the guy's name, Little Xan, what does that say?
It correlates it with good and fame and positivity and money.
And let's be real. You know, I love Eminem, for instance, right? Why is Eminem probably the best rapper in the world? Why does he get more exposure? Well, it just so happens that one of the best rappers in the world is white. So if you get a kid like Little Xan who happens to be white, and then I'm white, and I'm like, oh my God, I identify with this kid, right? And the record company's just slanging this shit like dope. They don't give a fuck about Little Xan. And they also don't give a fuck about how many kids are dying out here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, why are we not having this discussion? I mean, when NWA came out, right, it was, oh, they're putting violence on the streets. Why aren't we saying, hey, you're putting drugs on the street? Mm-hmm. Right? Let's bring you into court like they did M back in the day, right? And talk about fucking freedom of speech. Let's talk about that. You can talk about kids dying or you taking drugs that'll kill you, but there's no consequence. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion.
So, how do you make all of that funny? What do you look for? Like, let's just say on the news tabloids or scrolling through your Instagram feed, you see something that's clearly has negative correlation to it. Yeah. Do you instantly just try to look for your take on what could be funny about everything? Or does it just kind of come to you when it comes to you? Or what's that process of turning something funny?
I think everything in life has to be on the table, right? It's a great question because the other morning I was getting ready for work. I never watched the news. And there's this lady in the Bahamas who got caught. She's from America, got caught trying to put a hit on her husband. Mm. I started laughing instantly because they say, hey, she had her boyfriend down in the Bahamas and she sent text to the boyfriend that said, yeah, kill him. Then she gets arrested. Then she says she got $100,000 bail. They let her out after she admitted it, right? And then she was like, I just want to get back to my kids so I can be a good mom. Bitch, you tried to kill your ex-husband. Yeah, well, you are not a good mom. She was hilarious to me. And I think the process is simple. Find the ridiculousness in the story. Mm. It's not okay that she tried to kill her husband. but it's funny as shit that she thinks she's a good mom.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the turn.
that's or when it comes to drugs, I'm a social worker, so I work with drug addicts all the time. And to be honest with you, bro, before I walked in here, I was really struggling because, I got a client who's all fucked up, like fucked up, and I know where this is headed. But you have to think about the shit in between. Like, he was telling me that, what did he say? He said, I bought him a new phone because he said I didn't have a phone and he needed to get a job. Okay, cool. He says, man, they're tapping my phone. I said, well, what'd you do with the phone? He's like, I put it in some water. How is that logical to you? So you don't think there's a mental health issue here? No, he doesn't. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny that he just put it in some fucking water. And then he did some other shit. Like, he actually, he beat up the vending machine.
Beat up the vending
Yeah,
machine.
and I'm like, bro, I told you that where you live is not responsible for the vending machine. The vendors are responsible for the vending machine. He's like, I'm going to get my motherfucking bag of chips. That's all I know. Couldn't you have gone down the street and got some chips?
Yeah.
Why do you keep putting your card in if it keeps taking your money? So the answer is this. You look for that shit that turns the story ridiculously funny. I think in anything we talk about the extreme, right? The extreme of every scenario. My mom is super extreme. Her talking about my height. Stupid. Yeah. Right? Like, how are you going to feel what I'm feeling if I don't express that? When we're talking about drugs, yeah, death is bad, but how people die sometimes can be funny, depending on how shit happens, right? We look at the Israeli conflict right now. That shit, excuse me, I might not touch that yet, but there's some funny shit in there.
Yeah, that stove is hot.
This shit is hilarious. I don't really give a shit. I just think it's funny. I need to do some more research first because a lot of America hasn't done their research. They're looking at now. And
I sure haven't. That's for
I've
sure.
done historical, I have a degree in justice studies from Arizona State pre-law, right? So this is some of the shit that I've read about because I wanted to know more about Muslims. Like, why does America just hate Muslims? What the fuck? So you start looking at their history, you're like, wait a second. Israel and Palestine used to be the same place, right? So you're shooting missiles at motherfuckers that throw rocks? What the fuck are you talking about? Get your missile system ready. Like, that's fucking hilarious to me, right? It's not funny that people are suffering, right? But it's funny that we can bring attention to that because let's be real. Something kind of bad happened to the Jews 80 years ago. Something bad happened.
Something pretty bad.
Fucking a third of which were children. Pretty fucking bad, right? But on the other hand, does that give you the right just to be bulldozing Muslims the fuck out of the way? Like, that's not cool either.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about it at some point. What the fuck is the Gaza Strip? Why is it just a strip? Why don't they have a whole fucking, where is Palestine? There is no Palestine. It's gone. The Jewish people literally took it. And so, when we have discussions like that, there's funny shit in that. The way people handle things is hilarious. You got white people from the U.S. talking about, we're just supposed to give you our land? You're from Connecticut. Okay? Our land, wait, that's a stretch. Because you're Jewish, it's yours, all of it? Do you have the deed? I'm just curious, So, we're probably going to tackle that, not for this show, because I don't want people to walk out. But, because anytime you bring up Jewish people, it's a touchy subject. But apparently you can talk about brothers all you want to. Slavery's on the table. So, but again, you have to find that turn, even in relationships, right? People probably wonder how we interact in relationships with shit and I've gotten in fights with people I've dated before, man, over comedy. Because I'm an asshole. And I talk about it, our relationship and shit directly, about what's really going on, Motherfuckers be like, I did a last show I did that I put on was called The Secrets of Summer. And I just dropped a bomb on me cheating on my wife. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't know the whole shit, And so I just started talking about it, You can't have a girlfriend and a side wife, you know what I mean? That's just not going to work out. You got to, here's my truth, here's what it is. And I'm pretty sure that my daughter is one of the reasons she's pissed off. Is that I'm always going to keep it 100, you know what I'm saying? I spent enough time lying.
Right.
Let me be clear about something. I lied about my situation when it first hit because what the fuck you gonna do? Right? Pictures of me and another chick end up on the internet. All this shit happens. And I know it doesn't feel good to see me tell the truth now, but that's my authentic self, right? And whether my kids accept it or not, in order for me to be honest and tell jokes from here, I gotta talk about it all. You know, and there's some shit I've said that my boys were like, bro, you can never say that shit again. You know, and I honor that. But at the same time, you know, I'm doing this for them too. And I can't talk about the good and not the bad. Right? You have to. It's just like being a rapper. Right? Like most of the songs I made when I was a rapper were not bangers. They were from a fucked up place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I come from a fucked up place. And that's why I love doing comedy. Because I come from this place where I ain't supposed to be here, man. I wasn't supposed to make it this far in life. I wasn't supposed to be successful. And I think that's kind of what drives me a little bit too. But for my kids and my granddaughter, like this is all for them. Like one of the things that you should be thinking about as a father is generational wealth. Right? And I think this is how I make mine. Right? And I want them, when I'm all dead and gone, I want my kids to know that their father loved them very much in spite of his mistakes. But he took the wrong that he created and he made something beautiful out of it. You know? And that's just, there's no other way to be. And that's why I call the business family first. Right? Because that's the only name I can think of. You know, like, it's about them. When we're gone, what's our legacy? Your legacy might be a famous podcaster, right? Let me say this. It will be a famous podcaster, right? Because I talk about, I'm about speaking things into existence, right? So when it's all said and done, I want them to know that it was them first. All of them, my homies. Look, I've lost friends over this shit, bro. Real shit. I lost my best friend over this shit. He says your new friends are more important. Nah, this grind is more important than your bullshit. No offense, I love you, and when I circle back around, I'll pay for whatever you need. I got you.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're a woman and you can't take this lifestyle, I got to go.
I heard somebody say, if you can't bring anything to the table, you're not eating at it with me.
No, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of hurt in that. There is a lot, and there's some times to be honest, I'll fucking do a sold out show, bro, and I'll go home with no one to call.
Man, dude, that just gave me chills. I could fucking feel you on that.
Right, no one to fucking call.
I literally just got massive chills.
Yeah, like I'm in a house by myself. And I'm like, I just accomplished this thing. You want to be like, bitch, you know who the fuck I am? You know, like you want to be arrogant, but you got to keep in perspective, bro, that everybody sees your vision, and that is lonely. Here's the thing, and you're a boss, you're a king, right? So, one, heavy is the head of the king who wears the crown, right? But two, mentorship doesn't flow upwards. Being a king, nothing flows upwards, right? It always flows down. The people below you, they're not asking how you doing every day. They're not checking in on you. You're the boss. And that's something you have to get comfortable with.
Yeah.
And understand that means you're doing what you came to fucking do, right? If you're in this room by yourself at night, after you've accomplished everything you've ever wanted, or you checking off a list, and you're by yourself, it's because you had to be. It's not because you wanted it that way. I never wanted my homies and my kids not to be part of this shit. But at the same time, am I willing to give up my goals? Fuck no. Because look where I come from, bro. Man, my mom is fucking batshit. My ex-girlfriend told me not too long ago, she goes, fuck latchkey kid. She said, you were a feral child.
Oh, damn.
I didn't have parents. Like, I have parents. They're just not good at their job. And so that's just what it is. A part of you has to be lonely to fill that thing that, you know what I'm talking about, that shit that feel like, what's the thing that pushes you the most?
So something that I've been thinking of while you've been saying all this and kind of feeling lonely, I was at the Gorge for the Burt Kreischer's Fully Loaded Festival.
Me too.
So there was, 10, 15,000 people
Yeah.
watching the comedy. And I was sitting there in the middle of the field, probably dead center of the whole amphitheater, surrounded by thousands and thousands of people, watching everybody laugh, laughing myself. And the only thing I could think is I, like, the deepest part of me craves what they're feeling.
100%.
Being on that stage, I'm not like, and I could guarantee there's not many other people, you probably felt the same way.
100%.
I'm not feeling what everybody else is feeling. Like, it gets me fired up. Like, I need to feel that somehow. I don't know when, I don't know exactly how it's going to be, but when I watch stuff like that and feel that energy that they create for being the best at what they do, that's what I need. And that's what I need to feel.
100%.
So that's what drives me, is
Right.
being in that situation. And because I'm a massive fan, they're the best. I give them all the props. But once the crowd roars and everybody's there for them, that's what drives me.
Because there's something in us that other people just will never fucking understand. It's that competitiveness. It's that where I don't even need to know where you come from for me to know that you have adversity,
Yeah.
right? Because only a person with adversity feels that way. Only a king feels that way, right? You look at Julius Caesar, right? He had the baddest bitch in the world, Cleopatra. He had the baddest bitch in the world, bro. He had everything else in the world, but this nigga need to go to Egypt to get some Cleopatra ass, right? And it's just like that's the kind of man that I want to be, the man that has everything but doesn't need more. Once I have it, I want to honor it, respect it, and maintain it. And I think that, look, at the end of the day, man, I tell people all the time, what kind of movie you want to see when you die, right? Life flash before your eyes, right? What kind of movie do you want to be? You want to be a fucking snakes on a plane? Is that what you fucking want? I ain't even seen that shit show. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want that, or do you want like Blood In, Blood Out? Do you want fucking Menace to Society? Do you want fucking Boys in the Hood? What the fuck? Do you want like every Leo movie almost ever? Like, what do you want to see? For me, I want first class flights. You know what I'm saying? I like Hawaiian vacations. I want to go to Belize. I want to tour this country on my terms, and I've seen it. Every great man or woman has seen their vision ahead of them. It's just a matter of how you obtain it. And the people that lack vision can't see greatness, and that's where men like us are. That's why we're involved, because sometimes we're captains, right, or generals. We have to lead by example, so the rest of the army can get where they have to go. And I think that anybody watching this needs to understand that some people are meant to be generals and some people aren't, and that's okay. You know, not everybody's gonna be fucking General Patton, bro. You're not gonna always be that person. But also knowing how to take instruction and learn from the people ahead of you, so you can follow the blueprint, is just as fucking important.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to be a fucking boss, not knowing what that fucking means. Look, you ain't got my bills. Because last time I checked, my show, I got to pay for insurance, flyers, make sure everybody's there on time, pay all the fucking comedians, make sure the place is full. Like, I'm there before it even opens, and then I got to clean it when it's closed. Is that really what you fucking want? Because I don't
You
think
just
so.
want the glory, and that's it.
Right. But you're not willing to take the failure. And what the fuck do you want? And I think a lot of rappers, they all say they want to be bosses, man. They do. And I'm sorry. Like, if you're gassing yourself up, and if ain't nobody told you a king, you ain't a king. Right? You're not a king. Because when I walk in my door, you know what I'm told? I'm a king. Right? There ain't a time. Understand what makes this shit run. You know what makes this shit run. You got somebody in your life that helps you make this shit run. As do I. Because that's what we are. We're leaders. Right? And so, like, what you're doing now is you're leading. You're leading. Everybody, I'll tell you what, I've been on 2 podcasts so far this week. So what, Saturday and now, okay? And I love my friend. His podcast is the shit. It was fun. But you set a different tone in here, right? I came there ready to fucking goof off. I came here ready to do business, right? There's a difference. I love my boy, but I'm like, look, can we do something together here that's transformational? Right. And as soon as I pull up, I'm like, yep, we're doing something here that's transformational. This motherfucker put some money in here. He put some money over here. He put that money. I'm scanning everything. I'm watching. I'm looking at the Jordan shoes. I'm looking at all that shit. Right. And I'm like, okay, motherfucker, even down to the seat that I'm sitting in. Right. This ain't no Aaron sales and lease, nigga. Like, he got 3 of them, nigga. He only had to buy 2. Shit, he got a 3rd one for no fucking reason. It's fucking light. Like, look, looks like an expensive ass light. I don't even know what this is. But the reality is that you're invested in you. So then I automatically match that energy, right? And my job is to inspire people and make this shit crack. So if your team is around you and they're not bringing that same shit, then fuck.
Hell yeah. I think I just found part of a new team I'm trying to be around. So
Hey,
I'm glad you came through, man. You inspired me. That's for damn sure.
man, I appreciate that. And I had a really bad day at work, but I really wanted to come through and not just promote the comedians, but honor what you had me come in to do, because, I'm not about begging. It was one tag and you're like, yo, I want a comedian. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to make that shit work. And I think, and I just want to say before I leave this thing, like, again, sometimes your team, just because you're not connected with them, doesn't mean they're not a team, right? Sometimes your job as a boss is to oversee motherfuckers that can't take care of themselves, right? So that may mean doing your hustle and putting some money aside for your homies, for the ones that you stay 10 toes down with, or leaving a job open for them. Like my best friend, he was doing setup and shit for me, but he got upset and he stopped showing up. So I just kept grinding. He thinks that we're fighting about something totally different. I'm just not. I don't have time for the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So best believe, though, when he comes back around, he has a job, right? So just always look out for them motherfuckers that can't look out for themselves sometimes. And that's just what it is. But, greatness waits for no one. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I mean, for real, shout out to my boy Bones. I love you. Fuck. There's just so many of you, right, that have helped me be where I'm at in the last year. So I appreciate all the people coming to the shows and fucking share our shit too. Share our shit.
Come on now.
It's fucking ridiculous. Push the share button.
Support is free.
Fuck. Yeah, assholes. Then when we fucking have a sold out show, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm your biggest fan. Okay, you're cute, but you know what? I ain't tolerating your bullshit.
Talk to him, man.
Hey, I'm just being real. Like, hey, come out to all the open mics, man. Like, there's open mics at the comedy clubs Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and they're fucking free. They're fucking free. I don't want to hear no bullshit about you. I can't make it. It's free. Fuck you. Pay for parking. Come early, right? Then we do a clean open mic for families and shit, because I love white people money. I love family and white people money. That gay money too. Give it to me.
Talk to him.
The Grain Shed downtown, the tap room on Cedar, 111 Cedar Street. Every other Friday, we do a clean up a mic there. So, and it's a mixed mic so people can sing and shit.
Cool.
And do rap. But don't you do what MC Two-Tone did. Don't do what this. He came in and said the N-word more times than slavery. What the fuck I'm supposed to do with that? I got people I got to talk to about the shit that you're saying. So, your shit's about to die. Low battery.
That's okay. We're still rolling.
All right. So, also, Saturdays, every Saturday, unless there's a pay-per-view fight, we're at Spike's on Francis every Saturday. We go in there and we work jokes. It's fun. We just started like a month ago. And then we have, the Goody Bar, black owned business.
That's new, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down on Sprague.
On Sprague, where Deja Vu is, bro. Well, it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, they remodeled the whole place.
Wow.
It's great. They have a bar in there. We're putting together a green room. There's going to be we have a costume contest coming up. I'm going to come out of my pocket and pay for it. Well, the fucking sponsors are going to pay you motherfuckers for the best costume. And again, that show on the 28th, it's myself. My buddy Cap's going to open the show. That's a big surprise. It's his first show, I think. I Need a Donut. They're trans, and man, they're one of my favorite comedians in the city. Colton Drake, one of my best friends, one of the best comedians in the city. Charles Hall Jr., Ibrahim, myself. It's gonna be great. $10 online at Eventbrite. We're gonna be passing out flyers and shit. Get your ticket early, because I don't want to hear your mouth when it's $15.
Come on.
And if you're asking for free shit, come work. I'll give you some free shit when you come work.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And obviously you got a free ticket coming in because,
Got you.
So, it's nothing but a thing that got you at the door.
Hell yeah.
So.
All right, you heard the man. I'm going to leave links below down for everything, his Instagram, the Eventbrite, and I'm going to tag as many of those mics he had mentioned. So go, hit him up. Come to the show, laugh.
Yeah, 150 people, man. We trying to fill it.
Come on.
And here's a secret. I haven't dropped this. I only dropped it on podcast. Nobody knows this.
Ooh.
We are having an after party there right after the show. Okay, so you never know what the fuck can happen. When my homeboy shows up, Cap, this dude brings cookies. You can't trust the cookies.
Ooh.
Because every
Wink,
time,
wink.
Seriously, you can't trust them. You eat a cookie, just one, change your whole fucking life. You go back in time like you smoke dabs. That's what happened. Like, it's popping. And I mean, just come through and show some support. Don't be a bunch of assholes. Pay the $10.
Come on. Well, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate
you. Inspired me. Thank you so much for coming through.
No problem. Anytime.
And I think that's it.
All right, cool.
Deuces, y'all.
That was wonderful.
Hell yeah.